Hello everyone and welcome for this new video. So in this video I'm going to show you how I created this kind of top view of this environment only with Mural native shapes. I will explain you the process and I will do it again in front of you with this part that I kind of separated, and I hope you enjoy. So this was kind of a demand from a friend at Mural, which is Jim Kalbash. He asked me, he has actually this exercise or a workshop, and he wanted to see if I can make this room a bit kind of more appealing visually, I would say. And it was kind of a little challenge, and so I was like, okay, I will give a try to see if I can help. Already, I think it's pretty solid, like it's wireframe, top view of an office, you understand what is what, but for fun, I wanted to try. And so basically, yeah, I wanted to create a Kanban, small Kanban, just to say like the asset I need to design and like doing, done, that kind of stuff. But I didn't even need it this time. I just went all in kind of, I think it took me maybe an hour to make it. And I was just enjoying, so I didn't stop. Yeah, so just for the inspiration, I just Googled, like office top view illustration. I just found this one quickly to see what I should try to do, because first I was doing the wall without this part, like you can see a bit part of the wall. There's a shade between the ground and the wall, that kind of little stuff that makes it better looking. So I just do this illustration for inspiration, and here you can see that there's kind of shade, and you can see part of the wall. Oh, sorry. So yeah, now that you know everything about this little project, let's just jump into it. So I guess we can probably start with the plug, just for fun. So here for the plug, so actually this is the shape of a plug, like it's quite basic, but just wanted to show that this is even two parts, because in Mural you cannot make like half rounded shape. So just you make a circle, you try to put it kind of on top of a square, so you have this shape. I recommend to group them, Control G. These are just like rectangle, and then you have a circle around, and the trick is to kind of shift drag everything to group, and then you can kind of scale down. It will kind of keep consistent, just the circle will be a bit bigger, but it's still okay. And then you kind of get this size. I mean, I think I can get even smaller. Yeah, a bit smaller. It's hard to get even smaller, but you see, so this is, I ungroup the smallest one, but I cannot do anything with it. I cannot zoom more than this. I can only make it bigger, and it's not comfortable to work. So sometimes I recommend for the kind of small shape to start bigger, as you see at the beginning goes all this space, and then to shrink it. So yeah, normally it should be this size, but anyway, yeah, I don't want to be smaller today. I don't know why. Anyway, this one is a bit smaller. Oh, maybe let me try just if I ungroup, maybe I can go even smaller. Not really. Anyway, so we have this one, and then I just, oh, sorry, I group. So just basically I put it here, and I was thinking maybe I can free plug, it's just make it a bit bigger. And so here we have a multiple plug, we can group again, for example, and then later on we will bring it on the wall somewhere here. But let's just stop for now. After, what else can we do? Maybe we can do the white. I mean, it's not a whiteboard actually, but it could be a whiteboard. It's a kind of touch screen display. So here the trick, I'll change the color for the moment so that you can see whatsoever. So how to make this kind of perspective effect just with mural shape. So you need a rectangle actually. Let's put it here. So these other black shape are just line, and I kind of made them around my shape. So anyway, first I have this rectangle, then I have to kind of cheat with triangle that we just put on top, and here also you want to try to make them kind of adjust, you know, like it will never be totally perfect in Mural, but something like this. Double check also. So here is the good point is that with these lines, you can hide even if it's not perfect. So as you can see, it's not perfect, but with this line on top, you don't notice. And the same on the other side, you put a triangle. So this is quite useful when you have to make some kind of shape a bit different than the regular rectangle. So this line you can just adjust like this, or you can even rotate. I don't know if it's a line or a rectangle, but I think it's a rectangle. It's a rectangle. Anyway, you get the idea. And yeah, let's try to make it just a bit more obvious, maybe. But well, it's a bit less good. But anyway, let's say like this. This one, let's bring it a bit more here as well. And for the top, just kind of, you know, if you see from the top, the screen cannot be totally flat, so we would have some kind of border at the top. And then I use the same shape for creating stickies with perspective, you know, just for fun. And to represent Mural, you know, in a touch screen, you just drop here. You can add more if you want to. This could be kinds of stickies. Anyway, yeah, as you can see, same to square with triangle, basically. And so you need to make this the same triangle. Like I just duplicate and I put it inside. As you can see once again. So sometimes you have to zoom in and out to try to adjust. Sometimes it doesn't work, but yeah, if you play a bit, you will find a way. Then you should group. And here you have a sticky. So now we have our touch screen. Now let's make the camera that was on top. So for this camera, we have the black ellipse. And by the way, there is some transparent element. This was an idea from Jim. It's a great idea. So you would have like the main part of the webcam. Then we want kind of a white. I mean, it's not that we want white, but we want the same color background, kind of, to represent, you know, the kind of around the lens of the camera. And so, as you can see, if I put it like this, it gives you the perspective impression. If I put it in the middle, you think that the camera is just looking to you, so it's not like the top view we want. Just basically drag it to the bottom of the shape, and then you have the feeling that it comes from, that you are watching from the top. And then you can use the lines in Mural to create that kind of nice little effect of the lens, the top of the lens shining or something. Yeah, I think it works pretty well. Once again, it's not like super perfectly designed, but you know, just with Mural shape, I think it's quite fun to have this. You can put the camera on top of the touch screen, for example. And after this touch screen will be fitting on the wall of this wall. So now let's continue. Probably we want to do the table, the chairs, the microphone. Then we'll build the walls and put everything together. The table, quite easy. It's just a square in a rectangle, and you duplicate the rectangle, and you want it to be like a bit transparent. So you have transparent here on the screen. Okay, to the third one, you take off the borders, and as you just duplicate, it comes on top of the last layer. So you have to right click and send to back, and then you can adjust to have the shadow. So usually to have this shadow effect, just put on the bit bottom outside and on to the right, for example, depending on where you think the sun comes. It creates a nice effect. Let's say I put the shadow, let's say I put it here. You would think that the sun comes from the bottom left, for example. I mean, you get the idea. Just the shadow kind of needs to be consistent. So you see on the chairs, it comes always like the bottom right for the shadow in this case. So our table is done. Let's just group. So the chair is the same thing, just I changed a bit to have the shadow adapting on each view of the chair. So to get this kind of nice rounded corners, I would say, by cheating a bit, just you have a rectangle and two circles, sorry, and you try to get the middle of the circle. So you cannot, so either you have no line anywhere, no border. It can be nice, it looks like there is nothing, it's kind of a hack. If you do like this, you think like it's like a button on a website, you know. But in that design, I wanted to have the strokes, the line everywhere. So I did like this, and I think it looks better when it's just with this rectangle on top of the two circles, because you see if I put it in the back, it doesn't look really good. I mean, it can be useful for something else, but not in this case. Then there is the place where you sit, and then there are the shadows and things like this. So let's do it together. So first I group these ones. It's easier to move. I try to put it a bit here, so I want it to be on top. Yeah. This is a shadow kind of presenting in between, so you want it here. It's a bit on the seat, a bit on the back of the seat. And by the way, I have to put it on top as well. You can also let it like this, but you know, anyway. This is a little shadow for this part. So I just took once again a circle and I remember, and I made it as transparent. Now we have the shadow of the chair. So the only problem is that as it's shadows like transparent, if you put them one on top of each other, it will create a stronger shadow. But anyway, I didn't want to take too much time to try to correct this anyway. And this could represent the shadow of the legs of the chair, because you don't see from the top, but probably there are legs. Let's say something like that. Kind of, you know, it's not perfect once again, but then you control group. You do this for the chairs, so same idea for the others. Just I change the place of the shadow. Then we're almost done, so we have to make this microphone, you know, like conference microphone, kind of have to put on a table. So the only thing that at times with this kind of, it's all individual circles, like I created a grid kind of individual circles to make the place where the sound come outside. You cannot do anything at this scale. This is the smallest. I cannot zoom in more. So once again, what I did is take all of them, and I was working probably at maybe that scale or even bigger. So it's a bit heavy. It's a lot of lemon. I think I was working at that scale because, as you can see, it's individual, and there is actually a light gray border on each of them. And then I shrink them, and then I could adjust on this element. So I'm just gonna Control Z to not lag too much while shrinking them again. All right, sorry. So this is the base. I would say this is put on top. It's a shadow, but it can be a light gray, whatever. Also with a white border to create kind of a nice effect. This is the shadow, same size of the main circle, but you put on the bottom right a bit. Try to adjust. And then what works well is all this stuff. When you group this, you group them and you actually drag them here. Once again, more or less. It's not perfect, but it's okay. And then you have a nice speaker from the top. Up, Control group. Now you just have to make the walls and add everything together, and we will have our nice conference room. So this is the floor, this is the top of the wall, this is the part of the wall that you would see, and this is the shadow. Same idea as the chair. I put it half on the wall, half on the ground. And actually there's just one trick I'll show you after. So as you can see, there's a little part selected here, which is the same color of the wall that you see. And why I use this, you will understand. So let's say, yeah, actually we have to put normally that it needs to fit. The shadow should be in half, so probably like this kind of more or less to work. And you will understand the next part. So Okay, so as you can see here, I moved it, so I will have to place it. So let's say I want to add the second part of the wall. I'm not sure if you can. What did I do? It's not gonna work. Anyway, I can adjust. Yeah. Uh, I forgot that I did like this. So I think this kind of goes going further. Probably something like that. Yeah. Anyway, it's live, so I didn't check everything. So let's say this works well. Then we have this coming here. Let's say the shadow should be on half half also. So we have something starts to look like what we have. But you see with this black line that is breaking, we are missing this one because we have something hiding. So now you understand that to hide was to the idea was to hide this part so that you have the feeling that it's the same thing. And then what is missing is this. This actually is a line. That's why I took it off because it's a bit. Once it's somewhere, it's annoying to move because it sticks to some element and never do what you want. So basically, from this corner to this corner, as you can see, it can create the wall separation. So I had to cheat to hide this line and to this other line. This I can just bring it here, and normally I can move the other shadow to give the impression that just one, but as you saw, the line already moved, so I have to remove it again. And here we have our second wall, and so same for the other walls, and there we are good. Let's say we want it maybe here. It's okay if it's a big opening for the door. Anyway, I guess I know what I missed. Like I put everything closer and the shape was bigger. So anyway, okay. Let's take the wall. That this part. So let's adjust. So now we start to know how I do it. And so it should be here. So a little bit. Yeah, I think it's the transparent. Yeah, so I need to hide the line. It's not perfect, but anyway, just for the video. Okay, and then we put this kind of here. And the last one. I think it's a bit laggy with the loom encoding. No, hide the line, bring the shadow, start more. And let's finish with this one. So it's not perfect because I didn't really work the pieces this time. I didn't reverse engineering, so here you see it looks better. But anyway, you get the idea. This room is a bit bigger, that's why. So let's put our plugs on the wall. Let's drag our touch screen on the wall. If somehow it disappears, it means that it's behind the wall, so you just Control Z to put back. Select everything, bring everything to the front, and then put it again. And then let's add the table. You see what I was saying. So now table, right click, bring to front. Oh. It's tricky for the chair because you want the chair to be behind the table, of course. So now it's working, but the chair could be on top of the table, and you want to put the chair behind. But if you do it, the chair will go totally behind, so even behind the floor. So you just have to think, I put the table in front in case. For the moment it's working, but you'll see if I, let's say I duplicate the chairs, oh, it's in front, you see. So if I click the chair and I say bring back, it's going to be behind the floor, it's useless. So you have to select the table and bring it to front. And then this I have to bring to front because after I edit it, I put other stuff in front, so it would have been behind the table. And here we have our nice room. We'll put the link to this template, I guess, in the description of the video and in the post, and you can play with them, or you can just recreate your own. You can change the colors or anything you want. Hope you enjoy, and bye bye.